So, I want you to imagine a world, just for a second. A world where your entire life path, we're talking your job, your family, your whole future, is all decided for you. And it all happens during this one single 2-day event. In this incredibly ordered society we're going to explore, ceremony, it's not just some tradition, it is everything. That quote you just saw, and this year you get your assignment. That's from a little girl, Lily, talking to her big brother, Jonas. And that one simple, excited sentence, it basically captures the absolute center of their entire universe. You see, for all the 12-year-olds, this big annual ceremony is when they get their assignment, the job they'll have for the rest of their lives. No pressure, right? So what does that actually mean? Well, it means that personal choice, the way you and I think about it, it just doesn't exist here. It's not a thing. Individuality takes a backseat to what the group needs. Every single person's future is planned out, down to the last detail, by the community's elders. And it's all done in the name of one thing: creating perfect, unshakable order and stability. All right, let's really dive in. Let's set the scene. It's the morning of this huge event, and you have to understand every single detail, and I mean no matter how tiny, is carefully controlled. It's all part of a much, much bigger plan. Think about this quote: "I don't like hair ribbons." It sounds like just a little kid complaining, right? But it actually shows you just how deep the community's control goes. Lily wears them not because she likes them, but because it's the rule for her age group. Every single year of her life is marked by new rules, and every now and then, a new, very carefully measured out freedom. And this level of control, yeah, it's not an accident. Not at all. It's the bedrock of their whole society. It's this massive system they've built to get rid of friction, to get rid of anything unpredictable, and especially to get rid of strong emotions. And that big 2-day ceremony, that's the ultimate expression of this whole idea. It's a public announcement reminding everyone exactly where they belong and what their path is. So you can think of the ceremony almost like a ladder. Every year, each age group takes one more carefully managed step up. Let's actually look at how this community literally engineers childhood, one single year at a time. Okay, so check out this path. It shows just how engineered every single stage of growing up really is. I mean, from the moment you're named at age 1, kids move through these really symbolic steps. The jackets they wear? First, they teach them to depend on each other. And then, boom, they teach independence. Getting a bicycle is all about mobility. And those standardized haircuts? That's it. Childhood is officially over. Each one of these steps isn't just a milestone like a birthday. Nope, it's a calculated lesson in the community's core values. And this, right here, is such a brilliant example of just how deep the planning goes. A simple jacket becomes a teaching tool. Think about it. The back button jacket literally forces little kids to help each other out. You can't do it on your own. So when they switch to a front buttoned one at age 7, it's not just for convenience. Oh no, it's a huge public statement that says, okay, you're on your own now. You are expected to be independent. But okay, what happens when things don't go according to plan? I mean, this world is so ordered, but what about imperfection? Or what about something like an accidental death? Well, the way the community handles these events, that's when you start to see a much more complex and honestly pretty mysterious side of their society. Take the newborn child, Gabriel. He's a perfect example. Kind of an exception that proves the rule. He isn't developing the way he's supposed to. Now, normally, a baby like him would be labeled inadequate and then released, which is a very quiet, very clean way of saying he'd be removed from the community, permanently. But in this case, Jonas's father speaks up for him, and Gabriel gets something super rare, a second chance. He gets labeled uncertain, which buys him one more year to get with the program. And then there's this, a totally different kind of disruption to their perfect order. A tragic accident. A little boy, a 4, named Caleb, wandered off and fell into the river. This kind of thing is extremely rare in a society that is so obsessed with safety. And how the community responds? Well, it's something else entirely. So instead of a funeral like we'd have, they perform this collective ritual of forgetting. The entire community chants the name Caleb all day long. They start out loud, but then the chanting gets softer and less frequent, until the name and the painful memory that goes with it just seems to fade away. It's like they're erasing him from their collective consciousness. But then they do something even stranger. They reverse the whole process to bring back the balance. When a new baby is given the same name as the one they lost, they hold a murmur of replacement ceremony. They all start chanting Caleb again. But this time they start softly and get louder and louder. It's as if they're all trying to will the original child back into existence just to patch that hole in their perfect community. So this really shows you that not all departures from the community are treated the same way. A loss is a rare tragedy, an accident, and it gets these big rituals to sort of mend the tear in the social fabric. But release, that's totally different. It's a planned, quiet removal, no ceremony. It's for the old or for anyone considered inadequate. They're just sent elsewhere, and their name is never, ever used again. Okay, let's get back to Jonas and his friends. We're on the second day of the ceremony now, and the mood has completely shifted. All that excitement from day one, it's gone. Now, as they're all waiting for their assignments, there's just this deep, thick anxiety in the air. You could cut it with a knife. In Asher's story about that guy who got the wrong assignment, it perfectly captures what they're all so terrified of. I mean, even if it's just some old rumor, it gets at the heart of their fear. It's not just about getting a job you don't like. It's the fear of being completely misunderstood by the system, of being handed an identity that just doesn't fit you. And that dramatic escape he talks about? It's just as big as the failure itself. Which brings up a huge question, one that's just hanging over all of them. Could you ever really leave? The story is all about running away, but is that even possible in a world that's this controlled? Or is it just a story they tell themselves to deal with all the pressure? And yet, there actually is an official way out. It's right there in the rules. If you feel like you just don't fit in, you can apply to be released and sent to elsewhere. But, and this is a big but, it's just like the release of the old. It's a quiet, permanent disappearance. You're here one day, and you're gone the next. No big ceremony, no saying goodbye, nothing. You know, all of this, the whole system, it really hinges on one single thing: the community's absolute faith in the elders. Their faith in this incredibly detailed, almost scientific way they go about making these massive, life-altering decisions for everyone. And it's not just about jobs either. Just look at how they match spouses. It's basically an algorithm. The elders look at things like your personality, your energy level, your intelligence, and they put people together to create these perfectly balanced, stable family units. Things like love or attraction, they're not even part of the equation. All that matters is compatibility and function. And this is how Jonas himself sees it. Even though he's nervous, he has this deep, baked-in faith in the system. He really believes that because the elders think about every choice so carefully, mistakes just don't happen. He trusts that the right assignment will be made for him because, well, the system itself is supposed to be perfect. And that really is the question this whole world leaves us chewing on. If your life was perfectly ordered for you, if every need was met and every hard decision was just made for you, where it's almost impossible to fail, would you feel safe or would you feel trapped? Is it the ultimate safety net or just the most sophisticated cage ever designed?